Hello guys, and welcome to the ProDota Cup by Smashcast TV. We have the last best of 3 of the day, and this is of course for the winners bracket. It's gonna be a best of 3 between Big Fan and Wheelwreck while whistling. See, this is the ProDota Cup American version, of course, here sponsored by XBet. If you guys want to check out a beautiful betting site, I do recommend to you XBet, as you can bet on all the ProDota Cup matches. And of course, if you guys want to use XBet, I recommend to use the code BOUNTYX to get €100 deposit free, and then you can bet on those matches, those said matches with extra €100. That said, guys, we will be getting to the draft. Before we do so, allow me to present myself. My name is DSwordfish, and I'll be here with Vätte for the last game of the day. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, everyone, and here comes the last game for today. Wheelwreck while whistling against Big Fan. Should be an interesting game. From side of Wheelwreck while whistling, we see Earthshaker plus Warlock. Massive combinations, even into first pick. Most likely we will see the two playing Shaker in the off lane, but will love to surprise us with new ideas and new picks. So maybe we can even see it in a position of support. Drop most likely will play on the Warlock. They got a Fatal Bonds, and they got an Echo Slam plus Golems. Pretty strong 5-man from their side, even in these two first picks. From that of a Big Fan, we see Jakiro and Darkseer. Strong lanes, hard to beat. Both heroes are quite tanky and annoying to deal with on the lane. I'm not sure if Will be able to do much against Darkseer. And here comes the Invoker. Possible Sunstrike or on any side of the map, so we'll need to play really carefully, or Invoker will be able to snowball from this. But from their side, I would probably love to see some kind of a target stun, any kind of a setup for Sunstrike. And lanes could be quite Gucci. And now we will... I'm not sure if we will see a mid laner for Wheel. It feels like they will complete the 5-4-3. The both supports and an off laner. Now and think about mid a little bit later. Oh no, never mind. They're going for Puck. Still possible for it to go in the off lane.
Yeah, but it thinks like Earthshaker off lane seems like stronger than Puck mid lane. Well, I mean, Wheel does have weird lineups sometimes. Honestly, the Puck is good in general. Really good against Invoker and Darkseer. The Dream Call is fantastic to stop anyone being surged running away. Stops the tower push to some degree from the Puck. Sorry, I guess. Stop the tower push to some degree from the Jakiro, sorry. As you can prevent him from having an efficient tower push. Because, of course, you can easily destroy the lanes and whatnot. Not too weak against Invoker either. It's a pretty good pick. Honestly, what I don't like about Big Fans, like you said, this Invoker pick, I was expecting something to combine with a Sunstrike early on, but Jakiro is not pretty good in that. Darkseer isn't either. And unless you want to go, what, Nyx Assassin, maybe it's position 4? Kunkka, perhaps? Some options for Big Fast position 4. Not that many, though. Kunkka, Nyx Assassin, probably the best to combine with the Invoker. Maybe a Sanking, but Sanking is not the best to combine with a Sunstrike, because you don't really roam as much in the early game. Night Stalker was already banned, so that's got done. So is Clockwork and Spirit Breaker, so you can't use any of those.
Yeah, they need to complete the pushing strat, it feels like. Maybe we will see some kind of a Crystal Maiden. I know that Jakiro Crystal Maiden doesn't seem that good. Yeah, here comes the Sanking classic setup for Invoker. Just in my head, with the Darkseer and Jakiro, Juggernaut could have worked out fairly nice. In my opinion, it's a good hero for this kind of 5-man strats. It grants a bit of a sustain, plus he's very strong on the lane himself. Also, it will be easy for them to kill whomever. And interesting anti-mage for KVH, so we will see the fight between two solo farmers, Invoker and Anti-Mage. We already seen Will playing this hero. And they were always tending not even to 4 protect 1, to be honest, but they were going for some kind of a split push. There were not that much of a really big team fights for them, even as 4. They still prefer split pushing and picking off than fomenting around Anti-Mage. That's kind of interesting stuff from them. And interesting, that's a Rubik ban from side of a Big Fan. Any kind of a big button incoming. I can't even imagine. I guess Rubik is just a good hero, all in all, but Warlock and Rubik is not that great.
Yeah, it's a weird combination. I agree. I mean, Wheel has run similar things, or Warlock with Shadow Shaman, for example, which maybe is that why Big Fan decided to ban it. Because they had run these like kind of two squishy supports, but Rubik or Shadow Shaman position 4, and that does kind of work for them. I would have liked something better though. I agree with you in that regard. Now Wheel themselves have to ban something, probably ban a position 1. Yeah, Lone Druid is their ban against Anti-Mage. That's actually quite an intelligent ban. Big Van is probably left with Juggernaut maybe. They don't really have many options. As for Wheel, I would like to see maybe a. Honestly, Kunkka would not be too bad for them. I actually do like the Shadow Shaman quite a lot because of how good it is against most of the Big Fan's heroes and stopping Sankin's initiation. Or something, yeah, Kunkka just seems like a nice, secure pick.
Maybe they will surprise us with something. We'll really love surprises, and even though we predicted that probably Puck's going to be mid lane and Shaco off lane, they can turn it in a matter of seconds and we will figure out what's going to be their last pick in 10 seconds.
Maybe. Actually, that's not a bad pick here. I like the Earth Spirit. For ganking mid lane, Puck will win if that's the case. You have the
well, some kind of a reliable stun, probably. Nyx Assassin, here it goes. Working just fine against Invoker. Actually working really amazingly.
Well. Yeah. Actually, we forgot. We didn't mention it, but Mana Burn is so good against her person. Besides Pugna, he has the highest intelligence gain in the game, and nobody plays Pugna except for the Dreamy League finals. So, Nyx Assassin with the Mana Burn against an Invoker is incredibly powerful. And Big Fan will decide to combine it with Sven, which makes a bit more sense. Seems like the Invoker pick was more oriented towards the last 2 picks rather than the first 2. You got a carry with the stun, a support with the stun, easy to stop them with these 2 heroes. I can see that working out. You also have a pretty secure lineup because, of course, even though Big Fan won't have the easiest time laning, Sven has a great recovery, so even if your lanes don't go too well, you should be perfectly fine. And of course, the Invoker with the Alacrity is very powerful with Sven even before he gets his necessary items to deal damage, as you can just hit hard with the Alacrity regardless. And Ice Path is pretty good to stop people from running away from Sven, so not a bad draft by Big Fan. I'm still gonna go for Wheel though. I do like Wheel's draft a bit better.
Well, with Puck, with the Fishers, with Warlock, and with Nyx Assassin, especially with Anti-Mage, it will be fairly hard for Sven to catch up to people they heavily rely on Invoker, a little bit snowballing in this game. Though even with the Iron Shell and Surge, plus, as you already mentioned, setup from Jakiro and Sanking, it may be possible, but I'm afraid it won't be enough. Problem for Wheelwreck while whistling that, for example, their offlane will be completely unable to stand on the offlane. If Shaker is not strong against tri-lanes, especially when you're playing against Jakiro Sanking, you got a reliable stun, plus Sven, he also got a stun, Sunstrike setup. Jakiro can zone you out fairly easily, almost for free. Plus, if you will come in a melee range, Sven will be skilling Cleave later on in the game, and it will be impossible for him to stand there, so it gives some kind of a freedom for Sanking, in my opinion. But from the side of a Wheel, there's already a Puck in the mid lane, and it's fairly hard to kill this hero. He is pretty evasive, plus he got a phase shift, he got orb, and unless he wastes his orb, he is immortal on the mid lane. It's going to be interesting how they will work it out. Maddening, actually. There was a TP on the mid lane. Probably they wanted to
very weird TP.
Notice each other.
I thought it was gonna be like a ward, right? Or maybe like reveal the smoke because the enemy team was warding, but it's weird that you TP mid and forget to carry the wards with you, right? It wouldn't have taken that long to just put the wards down. Now he didn't see the Jakiro warding, because of course Jakiro did not TP mid, and yeah, that's just unfortunate. That was a weird TP. I mean, it was obvious. I think it was to reveal the smoke in case the Jakiro did the same thing, right? But not going with.
They
wards.
Just got scared of each other and backed off.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't see each other, and probably Big Fan will make a guess about where ward is placed, because they saw Nyx backing off on the lane. Annihilate, meanwhile. Oh, that's actually heavy right clicks, and there is no Poro Strike anymore. Oh, all up. Sanking, probably playing a dangerous game, yet he got a 4 seconds to Poro Strike, and Annihilate already lost a lot of his time and HP. That's not that great.
Yeah, it's not. Especially Annihilate is. I mean, he's gonna be okay because he can still use the tangos, and a Puck against an Invoker should still be in your benefit. But of course, you don't want to use that much. And you notice actually Maddening really interesting going for level 1 mana burn, full on lane domination build to just stop the Invoker. I actually like this a lot. When you play Nyx's position 4 and you have a lot of ganking power than Invoker, that's good. But if you can't do ganks, then the best thing to do is just try to win the lane, right? And then just not concentrate on trying to get kills. Especially with Anti-Mage or Puck, who kind of scale well into the mid game.
But actually pay attention to this. Sanking actually rotates to the jungle, probably he worked here somewhere. He's actually giving up on the mid lane. He is not securing top lane for his carry, and it's going to be a dual lane Sanking with Doxia against Anti-Mage. Oh, well, that's a time where TVH actually needs to be scared, because I'm not sure that Derp will be able to survive this properly, or he will be able to help Anti-Mage.
Okay, VH, careful. Goes for level 1 Blink, so that means that he can't go for level 1 Spell Shield, meaning that he's going to take quite a lot of damage starting up. But of course, that was a necessary Blink. I think this match for KVH, since you're going to play a bit defensively early on, or you don't want to play too much aggression with the Anti-Mage itself, you might want to just go for a 1-1-3 build, actually, against the Iron Shells. It's pretty good. We've seen this before, play a bit defensively early on, you still get your necessary levels later on.
Yeah, that's true. His main goal on this lane is actually survive. Yet I'm more worried about Derp on this lane because
No,
nah, that's fine.
Yeah, I thought the Nyx Assassin had Impale, but he's only level 1 still, so it's...
Yeah, the problem about Derp that Warlock is fairly slow hero, even though he got a heal. It doesn't heal immediately. It's like a little bit of ticks. So I'm not sure if you're able to do that much, but Sanking is almost out of mana. He still got his Mango and Observer Ward. He still didn't realize where he wants to place it. And Madman, annoying for Gunner on the mid lane. And that actually works out quite nice for Whale. Puck is on top of a Lost Hits and Dice, and that's fairly important. Yet Sven is on top of a Net Worth. What's interesting is he got a point in Warcry and Stormhammer, so he still gets some kind of a hopes to tank the creeps and probably attack Earthshaker. And even though I predicted that Earthshaker will do literally awful on this lane, he's doing much better, almost level 3.
Yeah, he opts for creep equilibrium over harassment with the cleave. So instead of trying to keep the cleave up, you just go for the... You're probably going to say the points up for cleave and then get him on later on all at once, or maybe just get it level 3. Not a bad idea for this Ven. I don't dislike this. It's just because you don't really want to stop the Earthshaker from farming. You're more concerned about your farm happening. However, Wheel's doing a really good job in this mid lane. The fact that they've sacrificed the Nyx completely. We can notice the difference between Nyx and Sanking. And Puck actually going for the Sanking. Silence all the damage onto him. And one more hit will do the trick for Annihilate. Getting the first blood to the Sanking. No sweat off his brow. But hey, that's a lot of gold going his way. Really well played by Annihilate. He knew exactly, by the way, that last hit was going to kill him. I didn't even know. Oh, no, the courier? Is he actually going to commit? Nah, he didn't see it. That's unfortunate. He could have killed the courier and probably survived that, but hey. He didn't see the courier.
Well, better play safe, I guess, sometimes. Especially when you got first blood, you're on top of a net worth, and it's early game. Giving away a kill for Invoke is not the best idea. Yet here comes the Nyx Assassin finally getting his level 2 on the bottom lane. Sanking actually returns. He's killed Caustic finally. And now probably they will go for a kill on the bottom lane, someone like Warlock. Yet there is not that much mana on Doxia. He is out of any kind of a region. Yeah. Oh, and with the Nyx Assassin, it's impossible. And Derp actually is skilled upheaval, so it will be easier to get rid of people. Oh,
careful, Madman. He actually just dies there, committing to this kill, and they want to go into enough, but they don't have enough damage, ironically. KVH wants to kill him, but of course without the mana burn, finally getting that kill with that level 1 boots, now going on to KVZH. This is the issue. It's great that you don't have mana on Darkseer, of course, but that really takes away most of Anti-Mage's damage in the early game, so you're able to withstand a bit more of his auto attacks. However, KVH going for early boots really played out for him that turn.
Oh, well, with the boots, it's much easier to kite the Iron Shelled creeps. And actually, he is getting 2 points in mana break, playing a quite, I must say, aggressive and greedy Anti-Mage, in my opinion. Because mostly you wanted to secure the damage coming in from a spell shield. But hey, why do you need that? There is Plumman Shield plus Overvenom on him. So I hope he will snowball fairly fast. And even if there will be some kind of a trades from their side, like it was before, Nyx Assassin for kill on Anti-Mage, I believe that will go for this all the way. Because you're just losing your support, trading for an offlane, and securing an earlier battlefield for your Anti-Mage. And what can be better than the early battlefield? Meanwhile, on the mid lane, Gunna managing to survive this, and fuck, he got cooldown on the Illusory. Oh, he is burning down. Madman most likely will be able to run away safely, yet there's a 2-man rotation on the mid lane, and probably they're Puck is in no place to be that aggressive, even though Invoker was fairly low on mana and HP. Probably should have waited for his level 6 with the Dream Coil, and I guess it's going to be attempt number 2 to kill Gunnar here. He keep on chasing, he's got his level 6, but there's Shrine already up, and Invoker will be full on HP, maybe not on mana. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, KVH trading hits with the Doxia, Dirked up, ready with a Pivot. Sunstrike and Anti-Mage is dead. Well, that's the problem about KVH playing Anti-Mage. He's playing very cocky, playing very confident. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, there was a Dream Coil committed. Here comes a stun on Invoker, getting a revenge for a kill on Anti-Mage. Cold Snap on Nyx Assassin. Gunnar uses... Oh god, I believe that he actually managed to survive this. Unfortunately, didn't happen. Right clicks on Puck are absolutely insane. And what's the point about the KVH playing Anti-Mage? That most of the people, they really want to secure their Battle Fury, yeah? And they're not going for any kind of a cocky plays or too much of a trade, but he plays his hero very confident, and sometimes he believes in himself a little bit too much. It feels like so he got stuck in a dangerous positions, and is all about high risk, high reward, you know? Probably they could have get a kill on one of them, even Sanking or Doxy on the bottom lane, but instead, bam, it comes the Sunstrike, and pure damage is piercing you through and sending you to the base. That's the first death for AM. Question is how soon he will get his Battle Fury.
I agree that the Anti-Mage has been playing. I mean, he went for a really early Ring of Health to increase his sustained lane, poor man shield. He didn't really care too much. Usually, if you were so concerned about sustainability, you'd go for early treads, even above the Ring of Health sometimes. But of course, against the Darkseer, he's been playing. I mean, he's been playing well, as he's been putting a lot of pressure onto them. One death does not demand make, and with this, the net worth, honestly, for the guys at Wheel is still superior to the enemy team, especially because of all Mad Ming's job. And I'm actually more concerned about how Mad Ming is playing this game, which is surprising. Usually, Nyx Assassin tries to go for a little bit of experience early on, because otherwise he falls behind. But this time, they're giving it all to Derp, trying to get level 6 as soon as possible, and letting the Nyx Assassin instead being a complete lane harasser in the mid lane. And I would like us to compare the impact that this Nyx Assassin has had as opposed to the Sanking. Sanking hasn't really done much, participated in 1 or 2 kills, harassed the bottom lane, that's it. But the Anti-Mage is still pretty high net worth. Whereas this Nyx Assassin is mainly the reason why Gunnar is down to 1800 net worth, which is lower than an offlane Earthshaker. And of course, Annihilate also played really well, but it's partially thanks to this Nyx and how much time he's committed to this. And as a result, you're going to come into the mid game with a much stronger mid game enemy team, even maybe a Blink Dagger early on the Earthshaker, and delaying the Invoker's activation per se, with the Midas and whatnot much further, which is really in the benefit of a Wheel. And of course, Annihilate also getting a Blink Dagger and Veil Discord pretty early. Now, bottom lane, we see Power Strike, double Iron Shell onto this KVH, but he should be okay, as still has the Mana Void, so Dork shows to play a bit defensively here. Any moment he could just go down to a strong Mana Void. It's level 1, yeah, but it's still a pretty good burst damage.
What's actually fairly interesting that I think if Will were playing with not a Puck from their side, but some kind of an Invoker, yeah, we would have seen a priority of getting level 6 with Nyx Assassin, because you could secure much more kills with the Vendetta. But they're going for some kind of a more teamfight heroes like Puck and Earthshaker. You won't be able to make a lot of surprise pickoffs, so that's why they're securing level 6 on Warlock early. At least it's my theory.
No, yeah, it's a good idea, because of course Nyx getting level 6, sure, it's alright, what are you're gonna gank. But even Anti-Mage, which is also, by the way, fighting against Darkseer, use Mana Void a bit early, maybe a bit cocky, now fighting against KXZH. Not gonna kill any. Yeah, so you're right, like, the Warlock is much more valuable as level 6, because he gives you a defensive teamfight spell as well, as is really good against BKB and anything of the sort. Haha, Derp takes away the haste room. And no, that was not Epicenter. He's just wagging his tail weirdly. He's gonna try to TP.
Oh, no.
Sunstrike to the face, and that's dead. Derp. As we were talking about how well they were playing, turns out the Warlock gets punished for lack of level.
Well, that's plenty of vision from side of a big fan. Pretty aggressive wards. They see all kind of rotations from any single lane. Rotations from the Shrine on top lane, securing farm for the Sven. Actually, where is Sven? That's the question. Sven is on mid lane. He finished his Mask of Madness, and he's actually skipping Power Threads and goes for the Echo Saber immediately. Probably he wants to pick up. Oh, now I see why they picked Sven. Look at this amazing effect on Cleave. With the new Immortal.
I love it. It's great. Now Anti-Mage to the bottom lane. Not destroyed by the quick slate, sorry, by the Sand King too much. You notice how this anti-mage actually not giving too much priority in terms of farm security. They're actually just letting him tank last hits, fight against the enemy team. KVH is probably going to have to recover a bit more in the mid-game. However, this is giving Annihilate a lot of space, and this is something that Wheel likes to do. Annihilate being more of a secondary carry, rather than just being a mid laner, creating a lot of space for KVH as the game goes on. And this works out for them really nicely. In the mid-game, they're going to have a huge advantage of the puck over, say, an anti-mage that has Battle Fury. What do you care about that? Battle Fury being a bit later nowadays is not that big a deal, as opposed to a puck not having Blink Dagger and Veil Discord at the right time.
It's much easier to recover as an anti-mage, in my opinion, than for puck, especially with the Blink Battle Fury. You have an insane farming speed. And there's not that much hero who will be able to pick anti-mage off when he will farm jungle, for example. Unless there will be some kind of a surprise with the Shadowblade Sven, you know. You're farming jungle peacefully and there is a god strength Sven with Shadowblade, runs in and crushing your face and bam, Sunstrike on top. Please don't do that, big fan. Please don't do that. That's a pure bullying.
Oh, there they go. And the Ice Path, it was not going to find anyone. They try to stop Derp, but this time Derp, oh, he is going to go down. They find the vacuum, stop the TP, Berserk to stop him as well. And the Warlock will die immediately to Big Fan's damage, making it so that they get yet another kill, while the Sven, meanwhile, has been farming the jungle. No stacks for him, but he's still been farming pretty efficiently. However, what I'm interesting about is that they give him a lot of space to Dota 2, so that's going to be a fast Blink Dagger on this man. I think he's even going to skip the magic stick he was planning on and just go for straight up Blink.
Yeah, actually, instead of putting someone at least on the top lane, so Earthshaker won't get his solo XP and fast Blink Dagger, they commit 2 heroes, like actually 3 heroes, to annoy Anti-Mage and whomever is with him on the bottom lane. They're getting kills on Warlock, but I guess that's not the thing which you really want. Yet there will be a fight on the top lane, Border Strike being missed. And Dota the 2 safely runs away. It feels like he shouldn't stay on this lane anymore. Probably rotate to jungle, try to farm a bit with the Soul Ring, because you got 1.8k gold. Just farm the rest in the jungle. Secure your Blink Dagger. Don't be aggressive. Don't be greedy.
That's true. You have to make sure you get those core items before you actually start trying to harass and kill the enemy team. And we see Madman trying to kill the Darkseer. Could be an easy stun, honestly. You get the Spike Carpus early on. There's the first stun. Impales well, set up perfectly. And this poor Darkseer is going to go down. They even commit the Mana Void to this. Why not? Darkseer to the Anti-Mage. Or kill for the Anti-Mage, rather. And meanwhile, in the top lane, Dota 2 trying to desperately defend his tower. But it seems like he's going to get some reinforcements. Derp coming in, no golem to his name. The tower is simply going to fall. And the Earthshaker farming whatever he can after getting that Soul Ring, trying to get that Blink Dagger as soon as possible.
Well, in my opinion, it's one of the worst idea possible when you're trying to get a fight, when you're being outnumbered even by one hero, but you're probably forgetting that there is also an Invoker from side of a Big Fan, plus there is a lot of pure damage with the Sunstrike, so probably even if they got their level 6, and like imagine there would have been like a Derp with golems, I'm not sure if they will be able to take that fight. To be honest, they would have wasted their ults. And finally, Blink Dagger is secured on the Earthshaker, probably get a Tome of Knowledge on the Warlock, group up and try to get a kill on either Sven or Invoker. Would be pretty sweet for a wheel. But I'm not sure if they will be able to do that. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, here comes the Carapace. Oh, question is, will he be able to survive? There is a Sentry Ward here that is not saving for Nyx Assassin. Question is, will they keep on fighting? Annihilate, silence on 2. A little bit scared, and there is still a God Strength there. Big Fan will be able to fight it properly.
Oh, careful. They do see the Sand King. He just showed himself. And now, the Sven walking in. Warcry. Annihilate starts the Dream Coil. And they go with the Echo Slam, the Dream Coil as well. But they don't kill anyone just yet. The Golem finally falls on them. Jakiro's dead. So is the Sven. And that is the turnaround they were looking for. Wheel to get the double kill. More important, the kill on the Sven. Commit a lot of ultimates, but definitely worth it in the early game. And meanwhile, all this time, KVH continues to farm his Battle Fury, getting closer and closer to that 15-minute Battle Fury that every Anti-Mage wants.
Well, Big Fan actually made a big mistake. Don't follow the pink dragon. That's what they say. And Puck managed to bait the enemy team in a great for his team position. Amazing Echo Slam with Earthshaker, and not that much Big Fan were able to do. will tend to recover a little bit, yet Sven is fairly farmed. And what's interesting, he is not getting his power threats. He gone for Echo Saber, for Mask of Madness, and now he's going for Blink Dagger. That's interesting, because power threat is a pretty decent item, and as Sven, you probably suffer a little bit from the lack of stats, intelligence in the very beginning of a game. That's skipping completely. I don't know. I guess if you want attack speed, so you got Mask of Madness for this. Yeah, and movement speed also from it, but I don't know. Oh, actually, Dota the 2 is going to be completely fine. Here comes this Surge on Sanking. They're not getting anything. Pretty aggressive ward from their side. They see what's happening behind the tier 1 on mid lane, and meanwhile, here comes the rotation on top. Ghana almost completely out of mana. Mad Ming is a... Oh.
Up top, and they go. Impale, they find the Invoker, and yep, like you said, Gunner, out of mana, and now destroyed. A Fissure. Well, actually, you need it, but out of the 2, they do get that final hit, and they try to take the tower in the mid lane. Let's see, Annihilate. There's a bunch of creeps, and haven't yet murdered anyone else, and he can't deny the tower in time, because Annihilate wasn't really going for that, apparently. He's just going for farm. He has already got his Blink Dagger, showed it off. The Earthshaker does as well, and compared to that, Big Fan does not have those key items with a mechanism, I guess, coming on Darkseer, but not the most important thing, and the Sven himself still missing that Blink Dagger to be able to fight efficiently. And of course, the Anti-Mage completing that Battle Fury, well, almost completing that Battle Fury, maybe like 30 seconds away. So he's going to be a minute late on his Battle Fury. Not too bad, not too shabby at all, especially considering he went for Poor Man's Shield and even an Orb of Venom to get some early game domination.
Yeah, I also think for a whale that they just need to wait for their cooldowns and try to get some kills after that. Meanwhile, here comes the ambush on the top lane. Kenny feels that there's something shady in there, not getting for these catapults. And Wheel, it feels like even though if they will fight as 4, they are also pretty superior, if to speak about it. They got golems, they got the Echo Slam, plus there is a Dream Coil, so it's hard to dodge it. Meanwhile, Kenny farming jungle, Mad Mang sees him. I'm not sure if they will be able to kill him. They will probably have to commit golems. Are they going for this? Here comes the another stun. They're chasing him. Echo Slam committed, and Derp is trapped.
Yeah,
and with his own Fissure.
And they seem to want more. I mean, the golems are available. Also in the mid lane, we see a Puck fighting against a Jakiro. He's been silenced. Annihilate wants to go for this kill, but of course he's gone a bit too far. The Sunstrike is not going to find him. Can he blink himself away? No, the Ice Path will kill him. And that's why you don't fight against a Jakiro, you cocky little Puck. With that, he loses his life unnecessarily just trying to dive tower against a Puck and against a Jakiro. That was just not a good idea. Yeah, let's see if we can stop Dota the 2 as well. No, I just don't find him. Anti-Mage, though, will try to push his tower up top and decides to just TP away.
Oh, any kind of a guess from a Sanking? Oh, they actually made it. They realized where the KVH is. Here comes the Sunstrike. There's not enough damage. Not like you'll be able to run away. Here comes the TP. They tried to make a guess, probably. Actually, Sanking clicked right on the place where Anti-Mage was. Well, Sunstrike will be up soon, and the Invoker, no, never mind. There is no mana on Invoker to get the Sunstrike. So KVH was quite lucky there, and he managed to survive this. Golems are up, yet there is no Echo Slam, and it feels like we'll come back to the chilled farm, unless they want to take a fight. I'm not sure if they have enough damage without the Echo Slam, to be honest. I mean, Golems and Dream Coil are great, and Puck with his spells is also quite good, but they don't have that much of a damage. Heroes from side of a Big Fan are fairly tanky, and if there will be a Darkseer with mech, I'm not sure that will be able to have enough damage to finish him off.
Certainly, because the Darkseer will be able to... Maybe with the Anti-Mage and the Mana Burn as well, they can stop the mech from happening if they go on the Darkseer, but against other heroes, he's also going to give that extra tank ability, especially if they start going as 5, which is something that Big Fan is going to want to do. You know, they want to get the Blink Dagger on Sven, get those key items, the items on the Invoker, which came at a pretty decent rate, honestly, 18 minutes in after his bad start, and then start going for proper kills as team fights, right, 5 versus 5 engagements. Now Cash might find Mad Meng have to run away. He thought the Spike Corpus, he wanted to stun him, but not going to choose to do so. In the end, it seems like a Wheel are just going to play it a bit safe now. As KVH is found by Gunner. There's a Cold Snap plus Meteor. A lot of damage. He might actually go down. And the damage from Gunner is too much with the Forge Spirit. He ends up dying to the Invoker's Alacrity as well. Wow, so much for the Spell Shield.
Even though there was a power threat on Strength, it didn't really help Anti-Mage. I was surprised that Gunner is so strong at this point of the game, even though he was bullied quite a lot in the beginning of the game. He managed to get a comeback, and he's on top of a net worth, even though before it was Anti-Mage and Puck. Though what's fairly interesting that probably Puck is on second place because he got a fairly decent beginning of the game. Sven didn't get that many stacks, it felt like, as he probably wanted to, because it seems like he should have much more fun from his side. 150 creeps is probably not that much as you wanted to. But I guess he was
Compared
fighting,
to a Puck, you know.
quite a lot. He was fighting quite a lot, I must admit. And there were, like, both supports were quite busy ganking the lane, so there was no one to make stacks for poor Kenny. They sacrificed their Sven, left him behind. And now, with his Blink Dagger, Mask of Madness is ready to fight, but the same goes for Wheel. It comes the 3-man smoke. 3 great ults, 3 red buttons are up. Madman goes for a scout mission. And actually interesting pickup, drums of endurance on Nyx. Don't see that every day. Here comes the stun, Echo Slam committed on Sven and being bursted down. Ice Path on 2, Annihilate, probably wanted to get the dragon also, but Cash was careful enough to back off in time. Kerik offering still available for Wheel.
And for now, they're aiming to get a team fight, but Anti-Mage just getting a bit more farm. First of all, use the scans so they know someone's there, and Annihilate. Still trying to just clear the ways before he actually goes in. Gunner might be found out. Turpter is in the perfect position to get a really good golem actually here, so you have to be really careful with this man as Madman himself. No Blink Dagger, but still available to just wrap around with a Vendetta, and of course they have no vision of this, but the ward does see entire Big Fan squad, which means that Big Fan might be in a world of hurt. In the end, Wheel decides not the time to attack him, and they just decide that KVH should continue the farm up as all of Big Fan smokes up and tries to go for a kill.
Well, who's the objective here? There are 3 men from sort of a Wheel stuck in the enemy jungle, but instead they're going for Roche. Quite of a decent decision. Most likely it's not that expected from side of a Big Fan, but all the lanes are being pushed in and no one cared. Well, except for the bottom one. No one cares that these lanes are there, so probably it should alarm Wheel.
Wow.
And Korea died?
Yeah, Madman used the Vendetta to kill it. Best Courier Sniper 2017, of course. It's Madman. They take the tower also on top, so that's a lot of gold that goes to the whole team, recovering a bit on the supports, especially. Roshan does go down, and Aegis going to the Invoker, especially, you know, Sven mainly the damage dealer, Invoker actually the one that might die. But in that regard, I still don't think it's that big a deal. You traded the tower and a courier for that. Now, Earthshaker in top lane, Ice Path, Dual Breath, slowing him down. Dota the 2 has to force himself away and can still TP because there's no stuns just now. Burst Strike won't come in time, and neither will the Stormhammer as this Earthshaker TPs the last second before Stormhammer hits it.
It's just like God bless Dota the 2 for amazing Echo Slams, amazing game, and TPs just in time. But actually we didn't notice it. 5 clear kills for Dota the 2 without any deaths or assists. 22 minutes in the game, even though he was in off-laner. That's fairly interesting. Meanwhile, here comes the Madman against the world, being punished for that and losing his life. Can't keep it up. At least someone should be unlucky from side of a Wheel.
And we'll see. Wheel down the bottom lane. They go into Annihilate there. They find him stunned out. He still has the Yule Scepter to defend him from some of this damage. Illusory Orb, Yule Scepter, second attack, and he will be able to jaunt in time as the Echo Sun comes in. They want to turn this around. They kill this fan in time, and Gunner, without mana, cannot follow the enemy team. And with this Wheel, not only stop the attack onto Annihilate, but actually turn it around into their benefit. Fantastic. And meanwhile, again, I hate mentioning this, but it's really important to note, KVH, all this whole time, keeps on farming. Farming and farming.
Even though we mentioned in the very beginning that probably Anti-Mage seems that some kind of a secondary carry, the way this Earthshaker is playing this game, it feels like this is the secret carry for Wheel now. Next item going to be Shadow Blade, and I'm not sure if that's kind of a great pickup, to be honest, because we already saw how many times Madman managed to die on the enemy side of a map with his Vendetta. And even though with his Vendettas he is fairly fast, he still got the carapace to run away from a threat. And they're playing ambush. I'm not sure if they really want to fight against 3. Probably with Warlock, but is it that kind of a great idea? They still got Aegis on Gunner, but their main damage dealer, like Sven, is pretty far away. Also, there will be no mech. Any kind of rotation, they will just try to cancel TPs. That's the question. Instead, Annihilate is going for a solo kill on a tier 1. Here comes the Glaive. bullying him away.
Well, he can still kill it. There's no backdoor, obviously, because it's tier 1. So he's coming into this. Will end up getting that tower. If Sven comes in, there's no way he can stun him, but he already used the God Strength. And, oh, Blink Dagger immediately after this phase shift. Should be fine. Illusory Orb as well. How are you going to find him? Sunstrike even misses, and he can always TP away. Meanwhile, this bottom tier 2 does go down to the Invoker's damage, and they also find Madman with the Ice Wall. There's the Impale plus the Mana Burn. They can't save this poor man, and Nyx Assassin will end up being squashed like the bug he is.
Oh, Mad Meng is suffering for the scenes of a wheel for deaths. Yet a lot of space created in the very beginning of the game in this run for Sanking, probably Blink Dagger and Epicenter up on him. And what was interesting and questionable for me that Wheel were not contesting for their tier 2 in bottom. It feels like they are not sure about their powers unless they got an Echo Slam on their side, because they know that KVH most likely won't join the fight, and probably they were not sure. There is an Invoker with Aegis.
Okay,
so,
wait, Dota 2 is preparing for a kill into enough. I'm pretty sure he's just wanting to do... Oh, there he goes! Okay, that was a bit of a ballsy play. Yep, he realizes his mistake, forced himself away. It might be too late, vacuumed into the ice path, and... I just knew this was going to happen. I could see it in Dota 2's eyes, right? So that's... he just...
Yeah, but what are you hoping for, to be honest? You're playing against the Doxy. He already got a Pipe of Insight plus Smack. Another hero there is Invoker with Aegis. What are you planning to do there? Even you got an Echo Slam, like, congratulations, level 2 Echo Slam, a lot of damage, but what? How you will be able to finish them off? That's a lot of magical resistance from side of these guys, and after Invoker will be up, after Aegis, he will just punish you easily.
Yeah, I agree. It's not that easy to be able to, I mean, he didn't see the Invoker, right? So he only saw the Darkshire and thought, fuck, I'm gonna go in. But he didn't see the Invoker in the map in general and just went in anyway, which was a bit of a risky play, which led to his death, probably. He could have maybe killed the Darkshire. Still, it seemed like the damage was not enough in general, but maybe he could have killed him. But he still has a pipe, right? So going against a Darkshire as a pipe, not the best of ideas regardless. And now we're seeing the top tower go down to Big Fan, as in the mid lane, well, Puck also goes down. Sven just kills him off, gets an easy Stormhammer, they find Mad Meng as well, and Mad Meng was in the wrong place at the wrong time, sorry. As he used a drum trying to run away, not going to run away in time. Spike Carpus, that's pretty good actually, and wow, they don't have any detection, so he might be able to just survive out of this. They do find KVH though. Oh, KVH stops that burst like with the Lincoln Sphere. Is he just creep skipping? Wow, KVH is ballsy right now. Gonna walk away. Walk away. Invoker comes in, misses the tornado. Everything is missing as KVH is like he has that dust thing from Pokemon. And now KVH tries to find, KXZH, which is KVH's brother, tries to find him. Can't kill. No fratricide today. And another miss because of the Lincolns. He TPs in time. She'll be fine. But of course, the guys for Big Fan lost a lot of time with that.
Yeah, but the main issue for Will, that they will lose their shrines now. The tier 3 on top was already taken, and you can't really defend that. Probably Ione Late should but should play a little bit more careful, understand that he's Spark, that Ione Late really loves his Spark. He is some kind of a cocky player, and that's the whole problem for Will, though. They're playing very cocky, and sometimes it's easy to punish, and I guess that's, if there will be any kind of a key to victory for a Big Fan, is take advantage of this kind of a constant aggression from side of a Wheel, and his constant cockiness, try to bait them into some kind of a kills for some kind of a trades which are not really favorable for them. And 27 minutes in, and what's fairly interesting that there is almost no net worth difference between two teams, only 1k ahead for Will, but I guess that thanks to constant split pushing from KVH and Anti-Mage, he's farming fairly fast.
Yeah, I mean, this Anti-Mage, the thing is, they've kind of relegated to giving him all the farm at this point, and the Wheel doesn't have a bad farm in the puck itself, like only 2,000 away from the Sven, so actually, sorry, only 2,000 away from the Invoker, and actually beating the Sven by 2,000 is pretty good. Okay, Puck, please, blink away, good job. Good job, Annihilate, tricking the Sunstrike. He's still fighting, though. Seems like he wants to make this even. Ursha come in with a Shuttle Blade. There's the Echo Slam. Finds the Sven. Now with the Golem as well falling onto him, but the Anti-Mage comes from behind. Already destroyed the Invoker. That means they're down. They don't have their Mage. How are they supposed to survive? KVH tears the Sven to shreds, and with an Ice Path from the Jakiro, all Cash does is mark where he is so that Anti-Mage can find him and absolutely murder him. Mad Meng even getting that stun with a Spike Carpus. And another beautiful performance by Wheel as they now take down the tower, and the the top lane. They were waiting for this. They destroyed the Invoker as he lost all his mana thanks to the mana burn. And of course, that mana void from the anti-mage, way too much damage at his level 3. And now they proceed to take some structures quickly.
Well, it's at least -2 set of Braxes, it feels for me. And they're like pushing fairly fast with their anti-mage. They're actually not only going for a melee. No. KVH is being like, I want to set the hole. Oh.
Okay,
no, Duxie is completely fine. There was a Lincoln Sphere now up on Puck level 20, and oh, I completely forgot that there is a tier 2 standing in the mid lane. Meanwhile, KVH goes for the tier 3 on the bottom.
They took it down, so they're being efficient. Now they're taking down bottom, so they're getting a split pushing. And they also kill the Sand in 3 hits. Wow, Annihilate. What? Annihilate, literally annihilated this poor Sand King. And meanwhile, Kenny actually stops Madmang. They Ice Path him, so Madmang is probably going to go down. But at the result, or at the expense of some racks at the very least, KVH pushed down, trying to push that mid lane as well. KVH, not thinking too much about his actions, might be punished if he continues this. Decides to go back home. Wise choice. Take Shrines, take Roshan, and be happy with that, as you already took 1 lane of racks in the top lane.
Yeah, finally, time to take a shrine on the bottom lane. Meanwhile, there's a huge pack of creeps on bottom, and they go for Earthshaker. Probably he wants to secure some kind of a... I know that BKB is not the best choice on Earthshaker, but when you're playing against so much lockdown plus EMP, which completely destroys you unless you're jumping immediately, maybe that won't be that bad of a pickup, but instead, not Lincoln Sphere, but the Yule Scepter on Earthshaker, interesting choice. It feels like with his build, he lacks a bit of mana, so it gives him a little bit of a kiting potential. Meanwhile, Getting goes for Roche. They know that there is no golems, there is no Echo Sniper outside of a wheel, so they can't really contest.
Yeah, it's true. They just didn't let the Roshan go. That's really big, because Wheel could have done a lot with that Aegis as well. I mean, it's okay for the Invoker, but I think here the big point is that they can actually take the Roshan away from Wheel themselves, right? So now the Wheel can't use it, they can't just get even anti-animage and just destroy the next team fight. Because of course, that was the lucky break that they got the Mana Void in the backlines. I couldn't even see because the anti just came from behind, Invoker was badly positioned, and KVH cleaned house. But in this next team fight, it's not going to be as easy for them, as they're going to have to fight against an Aegis and a Sven that usually deals a lot of damage, especially now that he's going to be able to show off his BKB a bit stronger now. I mean, he did it last team fight, it just wasn't that effective.
What's interesting that Annihilate is hiding in the trees. Is he going to get a creep wave or get some kind of a solo kill? I'm not sure. Oh. Look at this. He's killing the creep wave. What is...
Keep skipping?
Oh
okay.
no!
Annihilate.
Oh no!
Yeah, pay.
Oh no!
Pay for your sins, Annihilate, they say. I mean, that was just too cheeky. Too cheeky a play. That was too much, man. As BoJack Horseman's girl would say. That's ridiculous. How do you think that you can get away with that? That's a pretty ballsy play. And I respect that, but at the same time, a bit too ballsy. You can let the anti-mage do that, but you can't do that with a puck.
Yeah, that's true. KVH, meanwhile, standing on the enemy base, complete his Manta Style Lincoln Spear. Next item, BKB. And that's kind of a good choice, which I fairly like, because a lot of people are skipping BKB on anti-mage because why you need this item? You got a magic resistance. Yeah, but you're still being chain stunned and then losing your life after that. Oh, here comes the Fisher and Sand King. He's losing his life in a matter of seconds. A lot of damage, I must admit.
Seems like they're gonna start TPing against KVH. That puts pressure into the top lane, and they've already lost all their Dowder towers, meaning that Wheel is now discovered. They can attack him anytime. Anti-mage assign. Why not? Let's split push. And they go up top. Take the range Rex with a Manta Style. Pretty easy. Sven might come in and wants to clean up the anti-mage. They find him with a stun. The soundtrack is also going to hit. And KVH is really low on health. Those illusions will at least take the range Rex. But the result at the expense of what? A melee Rex in the top lane. Dota the 2 comes in. He still has the Echo Slam. Is he going to commit to it? He gets the Echo Slam. Kills the Chikira already. In goes the Puck. Sells the Dream Coil. Finds Gunner with it. And the Sven is already TPing in. They actually forced Dota the 2 into the EMP. Annihilate. And doesn't attack him entirely. They're all on BKB'd. And with all those golden steroids, Puck can't do anything against them. Madman coming in. Annihilate joins in as well with the silence, and that means that they can stop the Sven for quite a while with the stuns. And the Sven actually eats his cheese really soon. The Spike Carpet stops him. There's the Echo Stomp, and oh, this poor Sven will lose his life. Only thing surviving will be the Invoker thanks to his Ghost Walk. And I meant Enchant Totem, not Echo Stomp. But that was a really, really good counter initiation by Wheel. Also stopping the Sven. Invoker's still alive, so what? You're able to now take at least a lane of racks on the Sven. They don't have enough damage to stop the anti-mage.
Yeah, and the range racks on bottom will fall in one click. Sadly, they didn't manage to take it before, but finally it's a great turn for Wheel, and without Sven there is not that much of a damage from side of a big fan. Sadly they lost their golems, but that was for a kill.
Okay.
Oh, enough. Probably needs to run away. Ice Path on Anti-Mage. They don't really care about this kind of things. Annihilate. Oh, he is being stunned. Dual Breath, healing himself. EMP on KVH. He is retreating from the fight. Ice Path. Here comes the Fisher. Stun on Invoker. Maybe they will be able to burst him down. Aegis is down. 5 seconds to the BKB.
Anti-Mage continues to hit these racks. There's the Wall of Replica, really effective. They actually send him away from that Sunstrike because of the Deafening Blast, now well timed. And now we see an Epicenter that finds the Sand King, but the Sand King's gonna spike Carpus and he's gonna be perfectly fine. Now the Impaled, the Dream Coil's up, and now they goes in, but the BKB's up for Gunner as well, and he's gonna just keep on fighting against his Puck. He breaks the Dream Coil, doesn't really care. They only kill the Sand King, though the two very effective. Dirt Derp is alone against 4. What is he gonna do? He's even, well, 4 no. One of them is the illusion, of course, from the Anti-Mage. Derp will just lose his life here thanks to the Tornado. And out of the 2, trying to run away. He already lost his friend, the Warlock. Let's see if Kenny can finish him off. He still has a 4-staff out of the 2. No, he can't actually use it. There's the Enchant Totem. Uses the Echo Slam. Wants to kill the Jakiro at the very least. Cash won't die just yet. And Cash will survive that engagement. Madbang finishing him off with a Vendetta as the Anti-Mage cave. Oh, Nihilate, sorry. The Puck actually tries to take the racks himself. And with all this split pushing, they're still unable to take the melee racks. Meanwhile, KVH continues to push this top lane so that the enemy team can't counter push him efficiently. Still, though, that was a pretty decent team fight by their part.
Yeah, it was fairly interesting what's going to be a next item for Anti-Mage. And finally there is a TP on him, and he was favoring Open Venom over TPs. Maybe we will see some kind of a Basher on Anti-Mage and transferring into Abyssal Blade later on. Maybe Butterfly, something like this, but I guess getting additional lockdown Anti-Mage is always really sweet. Plus there is a lot of side damage, cleave, pure damage from the Sunstrike, and a lot of side effects, and Basher grants you a bit of a sustain. So it will be fairly nice, especially if you want to jump on someone like Gunna, jumping in, using Abyssal Blade, burning all his mana, bam! Mana Void. But from side of a big fan, there is already a Guardian Greaves up, Blink Dagger, and Gem of True Sight on Darkseer. And even though they got 2 invisible heroes, they got Nyx Assassin with Vendetta and his own Gem, and Dota the 2 with Shadow Blade. Doesn't feel like it will be that efficient. Madman going for a kill on a Korea, I guess.
Yeah, that's the idea at least. Oh, the courier's gonna juke him. Woo! And Madman is not gonna find it. Cash, though, might be found out here in that wrong position. He's already been silenced and destroyed by the end. Oh no, Carter needs to save him, and this is the counter initiation. Dream Golem to 4 doesn't do much. KVH actually uses the BKB, and now the Golem comes in. The Epicenter misses everyone except for the Warlock. He's been stunned out, but he's gonna be perfectly fine. Now the Colsep, though, finding him out, ensuring that he's not gonna make it out of here alive. Madming, he's forced to have himself away, but he's gonna go down regardless. No, not with the Lincolns onto him, saving his life. Annihilate, finding the Jakiro on the backlines, and he's gonna be able to illusory orb himself away. The Jaunt saving his life, and Madming also surviving thanks to a Blink Dagger. Jesus, this Nyx Assassin has mobility. Darkseer still wants to kill him off. Thinks it's enough to just vacuum him. But Madming will survive that. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Annihilate wants to do goes for those melee racks. After all, KVH is still here. Echo Slam finds the Invoker. They want to destroy him in a couple hits, and they will burst him down. Sand King also going down with him. That's 2 dead for this team, together with the Jakiro already. The Yositra onto this Fen. They just want to harass him a bit so they can't actually attack it. And KVH will just take the racks in front of their noses. Big Fan doesn't know what to do against Wheel's damage, because of course without the Invoker they lost all their initiation, and Kenny just watches as his structures fall. And it's a time for KVH, or Ricky specifically, going onto these towers in the mid lane. There goes the burst, like they find him. Oh no, the double impale stops the initiation. Dream Coil even catches 3. BKB activated by Sven, and now Stormhammer to 4. He can't clean the house, the only destroys Madman. The Earthshaker will survive. They want to steal at least that gem, but they aren't able to. It's going to be a Big Fan in the end, finding the 2 gems, 1 for each eye for the Darkseer. And a Wheel is going to end up surviving this engagement. Puck, he might be the last victim to die here. Should still have the Blink Dagger. Annihilate, not even stressing out. Actually took like a couple seconds to blink away. He's going to be perfectly fine. Wheel still take the bottom racks, and of course destroy the Invoker. Good enough for them.
Well, to be honest, I was expecting the Echo Slam from the Earthshaker much earlier in the zone of a secret shop before, because from side of a Big Fan they were grouping up quite a lot, and Earthshaker got a fairly good position with his Blink Dagger and Invis, yet instead he got for a kill on the Gunner, and I guess that was the Echo Slam they were waiting for, but I'm not sure. Now there's a buyback on Invoker up. He got his Shiva's God Aghanim Scepter, and that will be fairly hard to kill him. I need to wait for everyone. Even though there was an amazing chaotic offering on the bottom lane with the Warlock, still not enough damage without this Echo Slam. And they're actually relying on Echo Slam so much. And yeah, plus 40 Echo damage
Wow.
from the Earthshaker.
Second time we see that today, huh? More of a damaging Earthshaker. I hope he goes for the 600 health. Well, actually, no, this guy could go for -2 second enchant totem cooldown. Some Earthshakers are just really greedy. Now we see the Hero going for the 150 gold per minute as well. That's going to be a lot of utility items coming the way of Big Fan. That's only if this game lasts long enough, because the Anti-Mage is already eyeing those racks, and finally the Anti-Mage is going to start building up that Abyssal Blade. Not that far away from it, and they even find the Roshan. Seems like this Roshan finally will go to wheel.
Yeah, it could be pretty decent to finish up the Abyssal Blade, get the Aegis to secure your superiority, and after that finish the game. It'll be fairly good. But the problem is for Wheel that there is a buyback available in Invoker, yet he's still not level 25. He's only level 23, even though he got his Hand of Midas. The game was not that fortunate later on. And finally there is a first Roche for Wheel. The question is, Aegis is going to be on KVH, I guess?
Oh, KVH, let's see. He's been given the Shadow Word to heal him up. He should be perfectly fine then. And then the enemy team wants to initiate upon him. Of course, they know that they're in Roshan, but they can easily be counter-initiated. The Tornado is not going to find him. It seems like it was a trap the whole time. Impale, there's a Stairs taken by the Sven, but in goes the Anti-Mage. He's not going to be hit by any spells, because of course his BKB comes out. The Golem doesn't really do much. Dream Call onto 3, but of course they've all BKB'd, so they're perfectly fine. Nobody's dying. The Echo Slam finally coming out, and that is a beautiful Echo Slam to kill the Invoker, stop everyone else, and the Anti-Mage survives on just 67 HP. Shakira goes down to Dota 2, and they still want to fight this. Where's the Anti-Mage? She can't really join the team fight anymore, and the Yosef to the Earthshaker, he wants to survive a bit more, won't be able to. The Caustic Finale will finish him off. However, the guys from We already took 2 down. That was exactly what they were looking for, and they even forced a buyback on the Invoker, who's coming back in. Maddening. Ooh, he's been stunned out. Can they kill him off in time? Yes, they should. Impale only catches the Invoker the last second. Derp still wanted to fight, wanted to join Annihilate in this incursion to destroy the Invoker a second time. Kenny himself is also really low on HP. What can Annihilate do? He Yosef them up, and he stalls the Illusory Orb in 3 more seconds. Oh, what a good evasion. Actually, not needed because the linkage was there anyway. Got triggered. Illusory Orb will finish off the Sven, and they don't get the dieback on the Invoker, but they do get the kill on the Sven, and of course, Anti-Mage still surviving during the whole engagement there. Wow, what a play by Wheel.
Annihilate, he's like, hey, I want to show my Anti-Mage how to actually split push. We bought so much time and you didn't even take a millirex. So Annihilate is so confident that maybe he will pay for this. There's no more Lincoln Sphere. Here comes the Portal Strike. There's an Ice Wall Meteor. He got no use actually. Buyback from Sven. He hates this puck so much. And finishing him off. -3. Meanwhile, KVH goes for a kill on Roche, but I'm not sure if he will have enough damage to finish him off. And I guess that's Aegis lost. Aegis for, I guess, Sven or Invoker. Actually, they both kind of want to get it. Oh, that was.
Oh.
It feels like it was a terrible mistake. And I'm not sure if KVH will be able to contest that easily.
Nah, there's no way. It was Roshan, so they're gonna have to let it go. Abyssal Blade's up on this Anti-Mage, but what can he do? He got the extra 25 agility as well. It's time for him to do some split pushing. I like that KVH is staying in this area in general, you know, that near the enemy. Oh, that was horrendous. Near the enemy jungle. Weird Dota thing. Near the enemy jungle, where he can actually take the Roshan or take the split pushing in time, do a lot of script skipping. After all, there's 2 racks that are pretty much discovered, and it's really easy to go onto them, so it shouldn't be too hard for him to do the split pushing if necessary.
Yeah, but the problem is from sort of a Wheel that's a big fan. From one point of view, they got like not from one point of view, they got Sven, who is dealing fairly easy with Mega Creeps later on in the game. Plus they got Invoker, who does the same thing. Plus there's a Sanking, Jakiro, and Doxy, and they are doing quite fine against the Mega Creeps. And if they will keep on losing their core heroes constantly from side of a Wheel, it may be may turn into a disaster for them. I understand that they still got 2 sets of Rexes, but Sven and Invoker, they're pushing still fairly fast. So probably need to be much more careful. They know that there is Aegis up. The question is, do they want to wait till the Aegis will expire from their side and try to farm? But from another point of view, you're giving a lot of farm to the opponent, carry opportunity to farm their buybacks, which they lost in the Roche fight. That's the dilemma for Wheel. Go or not to go.
Well, they have to play really safely. You don't really want to play when the enemy team has an Aegis onto them, right? And I think at this point, you can even try to get a team fight where, like, Wheel forces the aggression out of Big Fan, because they will have to be aggressive, and KVH just tries to take these racks from behind. It seems possible for him, especially if he goes for one more damage item, and it doesn't seem too unlikely that Wheel can hold them their own with all the team fight ultimates they have against Big Fan, long enough for the anti-mage to get mega creeps. After all, you just TP back and you should be fine. Annihilate those, stunned out, Ice Path, double ice actually onto him, and the Meteor to finish him off. That's not how you want to do it. The Shiva's also hurt a lot there. So much ice onto the puck. Ended up like a little dead icicle.
Oh, that's actually, it was so unfortunate that they keep on losing their puck over and over again, and he got so much value with his Aghanim Scepter. So it's a graded Dream Coil, no possibility for neither Sven or Invoker to run away properly. When it comes to TP, they're ready to defend their base, and that's another issue for the Big Fan. So even though everything is fine, I hope, KVH, no, he's literally jumping away unless he will be caught in a tornado. He should be fine. She not keeps on chasing.
Well, vacuum, want to evade it with Manta style, couldn't do it. Ooh, great vacuum cancel. Nah, might find him. KVH can't evade it with Manta style anymore. Should be able to blink away regardless. Tornado. Or is it? Misses completely because KVH was just going blinking forward. No mind tricks for this guy. He's just playing honestly. He just wants to blink away. And there it is. Blinking away even further. Enough. Does not have the vacuum. In fact, from behind, they did try to destroy those illusions to make sure they can't do much. They actually forced the BKB onto Gunner. That's fantastic. Hey, was that a misclick? Or was he just afraid of Dota the 2's initiation? Regardless, that was a great thing to force out already. KVH actually got a lot of impact here. And they might even be able to harass them. Because they don't probably think that KVH is still there.
And creeps, meanwhile, are destroying the enemy base. KVH bought so much time, and there was like 4 or 5 men chasing him constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had to kill him, but of course, you can only kill the anti-mage if you have like 4 or 5 people chasing after him, but it's just really hard to do anyway. And Psyche finally gets his Aghanims, which might help his mobility a lot, actually. His Aghanims might ensure that they can kill the anti-mage a bit more often, but he still has the linkage to stop the Aghanim Scepter anyway, so he should be perfectly fine.
And Biot, he's up on KVH now, even more efficient farming and split pushing for this guy now. I mean, while on the bottom lane, Mad May steals the regen rune from Gunna, burned up all his mana, and now Gunna will have to retreat all the way back to the base. What's the probable some kind of a scenarios for Big Fan to win this game? That's the question. You're playing with -2 set of Rexes against anti-mage, so probably that's not the sweetest thing in your life, but still you got heroes which are considerably strong against even mega creeps. They're pushing fairly fast, and as we saw before, a couple of team wipes from Wheel, and maybe that's another set of Rexes for Big Fan, and one by one they will be able to come back into the game. But there's a 20k gold advantage for Wheel. That's insane. It's hard to beat, I must admit, unless there will be some kind of an insane throw from the side of a Wheel.
Yeah, it is. 20k gold advantage for Wheel means that they have to make some mistakes for the enemy team to catch up, or this can go into a hyper late game, in which case the advantage won't matter too much. However, they go for a very clever play. A smoke. If they find someone, great. If they don't, not that big a deal. They can still push the racks down. And of course, without them showing themselves on the map, it's quite obvious that something is going on, at least for the guys at Big Fan. But they don't seem to be retiring either.
I think that it could be a great idea just to go in the enemy base with the smokes.
Maybe not. Maybe just fighting someone, but this someone shouldn't be a
Jakiro doesn't worth it.
It's much better. Kenny. This is a much better target. In they go. BKB activated. But Activation doesn't really care. Wants to kill Kenny in time, but can't do it. Got strength. And Kenny will survive for now. The Golem even committed. They want to stun him out. Epicenter onto the Warlock, but it doesn't stop him in time. The Echo Slam up to 3. That's what they were looking for. And Activation walks back in again. They destroy 2, including the Sven. And he doesn't have buyback enough. Will this damage be enough? Yes, it will. He's going to go down. And now they find the Nyx Assassin. He's been stunned for too long, but he's going to be perfectly okay. The puck is creating some time. And they gonna ice path him away, not with a blink dagger straight out of the phase shift. This anti-mage surviving as well, and they actually killed the Sven for 2 minutes. They have to take advantage of this.
Yeah, but they can't. They're playing against Invoker. Yep, there's an epicenter committed and wall also, but that's the problem every single time. Even though you're playing with anti-mage, who should be fairly good with pushing towers, but they didn't manage to take Rexes. They're still standing.
I thought I went crazy. Sorry, I just have to mention this. I thought I went crazy, but there were 2 Warlock Golems, so he dropped the Golem twice in that team fight. That was really useful. That's probably why he doesn't want to fight again. Oh no, there was only one golem. He just refreshed. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, yeah. I saw the refresher, but there was only one golem. Okay, okay. Now he means he can fight. Because, oh, there goes the puck. He still has Dream Coil, so he's fine. There's a Tornado. EMP will catch him, should catch him. Phase shift. Oh, evades all the damage. That was not perfectly timed. The Tornado will, inside the Meteor, will do absolutely nothing. The Ice Path will at least stop him, but in goes the Anti-Mage, stops the Sand All that matters is taking away his mana, really, because he can't do anything without it. And now he still walks in, Dream Coil committed, and they want to kill the Darkseer a second time. The bashes are too strong. Enough. Oh, surviving! Just on 80 HP! Anti-Mage won't kill him in time, and now Annihilate against Cash, dealing a lot of damage. He's been disarmed for far too long. In goes the Echo Slam, and, sorry, the Fissure, and they stop the Invoker, but he has buyback. He can come back in time. This Sand tried to sacrifice himself for his mid laner, but wouldn't do it in time. KVH has the BKB still available, so he should be able to take these Darks down. However, doesn't want to commit too much as the Glyph is still up. Now, with the BKB available, they can just commit to taking these Darks down. KVH going on, BKB activated. They stopped the Darks for quite a while. He's been stunned for far too long. He's gonna go down. And please, Puck survive. He actually does it with a Jaunty to Little Orb. They find the Sand King. He Ice Pass into the Anti-Mage. He's been stunned for a long time, but KVH should survive this as there's not enough damage to stop him. The Yules, the Tornado, plus the Sunstrike, not gonna stop KVH. And in the middle of the Deafening Blast, he's gonna blink himself away. It seems like Wheel are almost done with these racks, and the Golem is starting to push down. The Warlock actually dies, but as he dies, the Golem comes up, and of course, they're just trying to push these structures down, but if the Anti-Mage can't go in safely, and decides to just go and buy a Moonshard in the secret shop before he continues again with his incursion. Only range racks survive for the guys from Big Fan.
Well, good news for Big Fan, they got Sven with his buyback. Now, bad news, Ghana doesn't have a buyback, and it feels like Invoker we don't have a buyback. It's much bigger of an issue for them. Fairly interesting that Warlock gone for a refresher up, even more lockdown, especially against and through BKBs for the Big Fan, because after that they can deal an insane amount of damage. Interesting pickup on Earthshaker, Octa-Core on him.
Oh, that is interesting. More Echo Slams. I mean, it has been really useful this game, so yeah. I understand that. More Enchant Totems as well. Enchant Totems is a 2.25 second cooldown. Actually, that's almost a perma-stun, huh? That's right, quite brutal. Anyway, we'll see.
Roche is up, that's the last chance for a Big Fan, and here comes the big fight, it feels like.
Oh, Echo Slam into 2! They catch the perfect ones and Pale as well! And the Invoker's dead! Kenny is out fighting against the whole enemy team alone, but he's been Abyssal Bladed! His mana is gone! And what can Kenny do? A red Sven is a dead Sven! Stunned for too long and destroyed as the Sand King walks into the Wolf's Mouth. Also gonna die. The Sven actually has a buyback. But what can the buyback do? I mean, they're going to lose range racks almost for sure. The Invoker does not. And the Invoker is dead for a really long time. KVH going to start hitting those range racks, acquiring those Mega Creeps, ensuring that all of this work was for naught. As Ven already forced to buy back, so is the Sand King. But KVH pushing down these tier 4s already. I'm a big fan. What are you going to do against this last team fight? I mean, they're going to start pushing your throne very soon. Mad Meg is trying to impale to get a bit of space, but that's all he's getting. And the smoke, that's might be Kenny's last option. In goes the Sand King. Stuns 2 with a Stormhammer. Not going to find, oh, a good vacuum, but of course he's been stunned out for far too long. Away his mana. He can't use God's Strength. This Sven deals no damage. Even the Dream Coil committed, and of course they even use the Golem. Kenny is going to go down a second time. Darkseer following him to the land of the dead. And now the Sand King, the last victim, as the GG is called. Wheel take this first game of the best of 3 with 44k net worth lead. 4-minute 52, second 45. Wheel will get the first step into the next round of the winners brackets.
Well, let's hope that Big Fan will be able to make a comeback in the game number 2. And we'll see you in a couple of minutes, and enjoy some tunes.
Of course, here our name has been DSwordfish, and I'll be here with Vätte Dota. Feel free to follow us on Twitter if you did enjoy. And like my co-caster said, we'll be back with game number 2 very shortly of the ProDota Cup, sponsored by XBet. We'll see you soon.